Can you hear me now? World, can you hear me now? Where's the microphone? Is the microphone here? Is this where the microphone is? Yes. It's gotta be. Okay. Yes, the world can hear me now. There was no audio before, now there is, and now we're back in business. And while I was away, there was a goddamn commercial for lotion. Like, are they saying I'm ashy what? Are they saying I'm ashy what? La, 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 la. Okay. Good, healthy list of. See, this is what I want to see. It's like this kind of support for the thing happening. You know, I still want to know what happened to all those kids that were sent on airplanes when the kids in cages thing was still a problem. It's still a problem, but it's more popularized because of the snowflake people. I mean ice. I mean ice. That's what I mean by snowflake people. I'm just gonna call them snowflake people now, so I don't get flagged or anything. Florida moves to eliminate childhood vaccine mandates. Well, that's not surprising. Good luck going to Disney World or Universal Florida. Good luck, guys, because you're gonna get sick. You're gonna go sick. You're gonna go have to go to the doctor afterwards. Jeffrey signed. Blah, blah, blah. That's not news. Another kind of. Ask for $15 whatever. Eternal Destination email. Sounds like some evangelical shit. Wow. We already know that the federal judge has declared that illegal on 5 different fronts. It's not gonna stop these people from fucking raiding it. No. Donor fueled National Guard deployment. What the fuck is this? I wanna know. I'm nosy. I'm nosy. And we got sound. Thank God, you could hear me. If you didn't hear me during the intro, I'm pretending to be Hassan Piker for a minute. We're just gonna look at the news and shit until I run out of time. Which, who knows? It'll be soon, maybe it'll be later, who knows? We're trying here. We're trying, fam, okay? I do more than just play video games and paint, okay? Passing, blah, 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 blah. Chicago is next. I need you now. Yikes. Oh, great man. San Francisco. I've restored Law and Order. I don't see a new season of Law and Order, Trump. I see chaos. And it rains. Oh, I have left everyone. Yes, it is. We're not going to listen to the sleaze bags. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I want a leftist to wear a sleaze bag t-shirt now. That'd be funny as hell. Sleaze bags. Sleaze Louise. Yeah, that email sucks. You know what's sad is some people are trying to donate to that shit thinking it's important, especially old people who don't know any better. I mean, old people that can barely read their emails to begin with. Oh, so Wikipedia, this reminds me, Wikipedia is under attack by the federal government right now. I don't know, let me see if I can just look it up. Okay, Wikipedia has been in the news recently because our dear federal government is trying to take away Wikipedia from us. Okay, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Florence National Foundation of the Way, now under attack. Yes. When armies invade, hurricane form, and governments fall, Wikipedia editor will typically update relevant articles seconds after the news breaks. So quick editors change to is, was, basic editing stuff. And just before 4 p.m., St. John provided to Musk 8,600 wood biography. Musk appeared to perform a Nazi like the Jerusalem Post. The note explaining the editor wrote the controversy was debated, but has reported that Trump may perform a heel salute. 2 minutes later, another editor deleted the line for violating the review stricter standards for unflattering information from biographies of people. This is kind of not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the recent attacks. Looking for the recent. I think that's 5 hours old. Nothing. What's more recent than 5 hours? Okay. But yes, this is what I'm kind of looking for. Because the entire Republican Party has a problem with Wikipedia now. The problem is Wikipedia is made by the people, made for the people, and it usually stays away from most biases. In with a government that absolutely thrives on bias, Wikipedia is probably going to be a no-go if this administration continues into a fifth year, if you know what I mean. So, Republican from Kentucky and South Carolina chair a subcommittee on cybersecurity, information technology, yada yada yada. Um, they want information from the Wikipedia Foundation, the nonprofit that hosts Wikipedia. The request, lawmakers said in the letter, is part of an investigation into foreign operations and individuals at academic institutions subsidized by the U.S. taxpayer dollars to influence U.S. public opinion. You mean like PagerDuty? Oh. The panel seeking documents, communications, that Wikipedia volunteer editor who violated the platform practices as well as Wikipedia Foundation's efforts to thwart intentional organized efforts to inject bias into important sensitive topics. Multiple studies and reports have highlighted efforts to manipulate information on Wikipedia platform for propaganda aimed at Western audiences. They resurfaced. I mean, that. I know we just passed the article on Midas Touch where it glanced over Gloria Gaynor's recent divulging of information. Like, she has been funding the Republican for like a minute. Oh, look at what is unresponsive right now. What a coincidence. How about we just wait instead of exit the damn page? Oh, it's really unresponsive. It's like it really don't want me to read anymore. Pro-Russia actors are using Loki to push pro-Kremlin and anti-Ukrainian sentiments. That doesn't surprise me. Um, what does surprise me is that I'm trying to cover this, and my Wi-Fi just doesn't wanna. Don't make me use Microsoft Edge on you. I will use Microsoft Edge if I have to. I don't want to, but I will. Please have a flashlight. Don't need that one. Or I could just be mean. What a coincidence that this sort of thing happens. Don't you think? It's almost like I'm being watched. Whatever. Well, I just wanted to show you that. Gloria Gaynor's recently paying out notes for GOP donations. That's kind of wild to me. I mean, people have been like, um, people love that song, I Will Survive. People be like, oh my god, Slayer is such an anthem. And I think that it's so funny because it highlights sort of like hypocrisy and dichotomy in queer media, where we will hold up some heterosexual who is like, gay is okay, but gay artists, lesbians trying to make music, anything else like that, that you just kind of like brush it under the rug because there's like this queer energy, like, oh, if I didn't do it, it's not real. You know what I mean? And it's just bullshit. Everybody wants to take the world, okay? Just let people have their say. You know what I mean? You don't have to lift up, you know, Beyonce for the 700th time for doing absolutely nothing but shake her ass and Dubai. You know what I mean? Now people see the stumble on it. Oh, what a thing. Ain't nobody gonna tell Denmark, calm down, Lord. Alright. What's up, Cracker? I hear you got a bear. Okay. Let's go to ground news. Shake it up a little bit. Here's the Let's start here. Let's start here. How do they rack up breasts? Over 5,000 breasts. Hey, look. It's that funny little photo. It's that funny little photo. 5,000. This number, they're like obsessed with it because they want 5,000 breasts a day. They want 5,000 breasts a day. So, that's like a lot of fucking people. That's half of, not half, but like, it's about, if you stack up 5,000 people a day, you'll have 1,000,000 people by like the end of the year, or over, give or take, depending on the numbers. My math might be incorrect because I don't have a calculator in front of me. But yes, they have been raiding places like Home Depot and car washes, which is, scary. These are places of businesses. These are places that people go, like, in general. Um, but also, if you go to Stockton, they just roam the streets. They just roam downtown. Like, if you go to a more urban city, they will be just hanging out. Or even worse, they'll be hanging out in hospitals, just sitting in the waiting room, which is even more disturbing. You know, I'm sorry, if you're somebody with armor and they're just sitting there, are you feeling safer? I highly doubt it. Because you know who does that shit? You know who does that shit? Russia does that shit. Russia does that shit. They sit around with guns in restaurants, in bars, wherever. And so, yeah, it doesn't exactly feel safer, especially when we criticize other nations for doing the same shit that we're doing, like right now. Yeah. Just like how obviously there's a bias in the American news about what dictators we like. We obviously like that motherfucker from El Salvador with the looking like he's going to the club, but we don't like that dictator from Venezuela because he's in the news every day and we're always talking shit about him. And hell, he even got the Navy knocking on his door right now. And so this isn't even us doing our bidding anymore. We're doing El Salvador bidding. You guys understand that? We're wasting taxpayer money on another dictator's problem. Do you know that? So I just wanted to get that out there. All you taxpayers out there. Protests have organized against raids, providing training on how to counter immigration enforcement tactics by blah 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 blah. Albino. I can tell a motherfucker was counting that name. They claim to identify targets based on intelligence, dismissing allegations of racial profiling, while emphasizing speed to evade potentially violent arrests. You know, because if you hurry up and grab somebody, they won't have much time to fight, will they? That's and mind you, these people are masked, and you know they got body armor. In any normal society, we'd be like, "Oh my God, that's kidnapping." It's so funny how, like in the '80s, there was a lot of propaganda on stranger danger, you know, where your kids, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Shit like that. And statistics show that around that time, most beatings, abuse, kidnappings, and rapes were done within the family. And so now we're in this decade where we're hyper aware of stuff that happens within families, but stranger danger has come back. Of these masked motherfuckers are coming into your neighborhoods, stealing kids, stealing parents at schools and hospitals and all that shit. But you don't know who the fuck they are, and you don't know where the fuck you're going. For all you know, you could be trafficked to Uganda or Cancun or something like that. You know what I mean? So stranger danger has actually fucking returned in high fashion. You know, instead of it's 10 o'clock p.m. and you know where your kids are, it's hey, it's 10 o'clock a.m. Do you know where your parents are? Like Jesus Christ, like it's just I shouldn't be laughing at this, but we laugh when we get nervous, and obviously this shit gets us nervous. You know what I mean? Let's continue. Oh, was that it? Okay, short and sweet. Ground news, short and sweet. Hey, Democrats flip Iowa State. That's nice. Okay, the Cracker Barrel thing cracks me up because there's a meme of Uncle Ben from Uncle Ben's Rice, Aunt Jemima from Aunt Jemima's Pancakes. Like they're in heaven because their mascots have been canceled, and there's a Cracker Barrel logo, and they just look at him and they're like, "What's up, Cracker?" Like, come on. Uh, I never heard of this franchise either until I went to Illinois, and then people, yeah, the white people there fucking love this place because it's like Black Bear Diner, but there's a gift shop in the entrance. Whatever. Like it's like a thrift store mixed with a restaurant. It's kind of bizarre. Or yeah, something like that. It's like it's not really a thrift store. Like they're not old things. They're new things, but they are designed to look like old things. And there's like farm equipment on the ceiling, and it's weird. It's a weird little restaurant. It's a weird, cute little restaurant. but people were upset with the cracker leaving the barrel. So they got the cracker back in the barrel. Jesus. And the fact that the federal government had to address the cracker directly is hilarious. I feel like the federal government should address crackers all over this nation, but because they get a little bit too white and salty, if you know what I mean. But we'll continue. We'll watch this shit get flagged for racism. Texas authorities to join case against abortion bill. Want you that? What's that? What's that? Oh, I'm back on Midas Touch. I've already skipped around it, so shit. I didn't even notice. Abortion pills are a lot stronger. This case includes going to case so the argument that abortion pills with the FDA permits to be shipped discreetly in mail to make it impossible to enforce mandatory abortion bans. The Alliance of Hippocratic the Alliance of Hippocratic Medicine. I can't even make that shit up. I can't even make up that name. That shit is hilarious. Has argued that it is unsafe and has been rushed to market by the FDA without sufficient testing. This looks so fucking familiar. And if you've watched my Project 2025 videos, you'll know why this looks very fucking familiar. Because this is exactly what they said they were going to do. It's exactly what they said they were going to do. They're going to go after the mail-in abortion pills because and declare them unsafe because they didn't get tested enough. So that's just a little bit too familiar for my taste, which is why I clicked on it. It's just familiar. Familiar. Okay, that's a post. Let's go back to that. Hey, I don't care about Mars because I'm racist against Martians. Okay, I don't care about Mars because we got enough problems here on Earth. Just want to be clear. Just want to be clear about that. In case there's higher life out there. Okay. Okay, what is it? Okay, this. What is a healthy range of joblessness? Like, unemployment is on the rise naturally because our federal government slashed like thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of fucking jobs recently within their zone range. Um, what the fuck is a healthy dose of unemployment rate? Like, I just, what is that? What is a healthy dose of unemployment rate? Because in the perfect world, it would be little unemployment. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say no unemployment because that's a little wishful thinking, especially if you follow California governor races. Number exceed economic expectations of 231,000. Despite the rise of job claims, is a healthy range. Two, well, only 200,000. Only 200,000. Oh, that's 200 to 250,000. Oh, that's the healthy range. The healthy range of unemployment. Get the fuck out of here with that. Get out of here with that. And here's the articles covering these said things. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Get out of here. Feel bad for that woman? Oh, do I feel bad for that woman? Oh, yes, I do, because it's Trump's U.S. Justice Department. you know, these incompetent fools that couldn't find the school shooter in time for a mass shooting. Yeah, moving on. Judge for Sponge Livingston, oh yeah, that was on the news. I did see that. I know Rosie doesn't get like that because she's in Ireland or Scotland or one of those places. See something else, you know. Okay, so this is a funny thing. I think people have mentioned it before, but people were freaking out over um, Stephen Colbert losing the Late Show and the Late Show just being canceled in its entirety after decades of running. Um, the shit that's been happening now to male comedians has been happening to female comedians for a lot longer. I think people are starting to realize that because they happen to be a favorite move on Paramount. You know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there that the shit that male comedians are going through right now is the shit you've put female comedians through for literally forever. Literally forever. I would trade Joe Rogan for Rosie O'Donnell in a heartbeat. I want Rosie O'Donnell smoking a cigar on a podcast talking shit with literally anyone. Just anyone. Anyone. Give me that. Oh my god. Give me that. Like, I don't think Rosie O'Donnell smokes. She has kids, but yeah, a guy can breathe. Honestly, suspected cartel of Venezuela. Yeah, this. Because this has been. Because even the news recently said that they weren't even sure if this footage was real. Because they were thinking this footage may have been AI to just fake that they're, you know, committing a war crime. But, but yeah, this is groundworks for future wars. If you're wondering why Hispanics are being put into camps early, you need to look at the situations in these nations that we're causing, because those are your future wars. The people we're locking up, you better look at what we're doing to those nations right now, because those are your future wars that your kids are going to have to fight. Even if you're young, your friends' kids. You know what I mean? So I just want you to pay attention to that shit. Good on Turkey for that. Turkey is such a funny nation. It it's technically a dictatorship, and technically they got a lot of anti-gay laws. But did you see Turkey's gay pride? It was not legal in any sense of the in any sense. It was not funded corporately by anyone. But there was thousands of fucking people, thousands. Like, hello, gays do exist in Turkey for real. The laws are restrictive, but the citizens don't give a fuck about the laws there. And the Turkish government is so old that they don't really enforce the law. They just kind of like, if that whole thing happened, nobody died, nobody got hurt. They were just kind of like, meh, like, we can't be stop these people from marching in the streets. So, so that Turkey is a little funny place. I'll tell you that. Hi, Hassan. Um, okay, before we talk about Israel Gaza, which is something I've been complaining about since 2007, but no one listened to me. Um, I think the reason why this situation, despite happening for decades upon decades. The reason why the Israel-Gaza situation is blowing the fuck up, so to speak, and people are actually paying attention, and it's actually on the news this time, is because we're normalizing that kind of thing. We're normalizing that kind of genocide. We're normalizing that kind of genocide because that's exactly what the U.S. wants to do over here. We're, we're committing a horrible atrocities to our citizens and people abroad. And finally, we have the guts to say, hey, look at that shit over Israel. Look over there. That's way worse. That's way worse than what we're doing here. Which was something that was happening a lot in the OOs when we were invading Afghanistan and Iraq and all those places. There was a lot of the attitude was, oh yeah, it's bad here, but you're not over there, are you? Which is happening again, but only with Israel. Which is such a thing. It is such a thing. Israel money has been in and out of America for a long time. So much so that I think people like to claim that we're occupied by Israel, which is funny to me. But the normalization of this in the news is only a sign of the times that this is probably going to be coming to your neighborhood in some way, form, or fashion. And technically it has with all these death camps and all these ICE agents, so be that what you will. Let's just remember, one of the notable protests in Israel happened because the soldiers wanted the right to assault and rape prisoners. That was a real protest that happened. And I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to say. Because that kind of, it starts in the mind. It starts in the mind. You know what I mean? Let's see. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. That doesn't order a line from down there operating. So we do. Environmental lawsuit. So the Native Americans in that area are part of that uh, environmental lawsuit because they claim that the waste created there and the pollution happening there, like all the jets and all the cars and people dying of disease there, it's gonna affect the wildlife, and it is. And they have they have a right to this claim because out that camp is in between two tribes, which is why the camp is in where it's at right now. In the Everglades, there's one side of the Everglades which is owned by one tribe, and the other side of the Everglades which is owned by another tribe. And you have this death camp right in the middle of that, just kind of skirting both of those laws of tribal land, federal land, and you know. So obviously, ain't nobody happy about that. And I'm so glad a federal judge is looking at that like, hey, maybe that sucks. Will it stop death camps as a whole? No, because they already made another one called Deport Depot, which is wildly inappropriate. I like how these death camps have like one-letter initials, like Alligator Alcatraz, AA, uh, Deportee Depot, DD. It would be funny if people weren't dying. You know what I mean? If the facility ceases operations, it would render legal rights to order plants to accept detainees if they stay granted. If they stay granted. Oh, you would tell it's an opinion piece because their commentary, because it said they should investigate the money wasted there. And yes, they should. They really should. You telling me we can't feed the homeless, but we can make death camps in 5 seconds or less? Okay. Okay, America. It costs more. It costs more money raiding homeless camps and tearing down tents and throwing them away. It costs more money to do that than to actually house people. You guys understand that? Like, this isn't even about optimization. It's about optimized cruelty. And let me tell you something about homelessness. America is a country that runs on money. Money goes round. Money makes people happy. Money makes people sad. America has its areas. America has protagonists. You, the working class man. You, who has a job. You, who does your 9 to 5 and comes back home and you still can't afford shit anyway. You are being protected. Who is the boogeyman? The boogeyman is the lazy people, the homeless, people that are out there trying to survive off the wilderness away from you. This is the American narrative. America needs homeless people to create a boogeyman to keep you afraid of having no money. I'm not stuttering with that. That is fact. The government needs a boogeyman. They need you to be afraid of this thing, of being houseless, of living in a tent, of losing your tent to a crane or pickup truck or Gavin Newsom with a garbage bag. You know what I mean? Or they need you. They need the boogeyman. They need homelessness. That's why they never fix it. That's why no one has fixed it. That's why there is no fixing it. Because America needs that fucking boogeyman to keep the working man afraid, to keep him at his 9 to 5 job. Oh, you better go back to work. Otherwise, you're going to end up like that fool on the street. What fool on the street? Exactly. We already killed him. So, America needs that, the boogeyman of homelessness. Except for when the Olympics come around, and then we bring in the National Guard to terrorize the whole fucking neighborhood. Yep. Even the Nazis hosted the Olympics, I'm just saying. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying here. I'll let you marinate on that while I look at news articles. I want to see what's happening here. There's the Idaho case. Okay. 24 attention. Boise State University withdrew her Supreme Court case challenging Idaho's ban on transgender athletes. Okay. I think she withdrew her case for a reason. That reason being that we shouldn't be focusing on trans people in sports. We should be focusing on our trans servicemen and women losing their retirement benefits that they worked decades for. They lost all the effort they put into their lives serving our country because of their identity. And this, like, it's very true for trans men. I feel for them the most because, they pass way more easy. They do. Transgender men just pass better. They do. And as a result, you get full on men with muscles and beards. And now, because of stupid bathroom laws, they have to use the women's restroom. But they pass so well that they get arrested anyway because it's a man in the fucking women's restroom. Allegedly. So it's like, it boggles my fucking mind because, like, if we kept the government out of our pants, we'd be a lot happier people. You know what I mean? We would. We fucking would. While that case is dismissed, they'll be hearing another Supreme Court case similar. Okay, speaking of Supreme Court cases, you know what I haven't seen from Midas Touch or Brown News is that Ken Davis situation. I want to update on that shit. What's going on with that? Years ago. All right. Well, that's it, folks. We gotta go. Thank you guys so much for joining, and keep on keeping on. Love you guys. 1, 2, 3, not it.